Hey, it's Ash here from the Gunners and Blues. Happy Friday to you. And oh my god, yes, the hair is gone. Hair today, gone tomorrow. I said New Year's over. Done and dusted. 2020. Going back to the old hairstyle. Anyway, this is the Friday supplement. Just a quick little look back at, I suppose, December's games. I think we can all agree at this stage that it was a very, very successful December, with the exception of two games. Of course, obviously the last game against Manchester City, and we didn't really do ourselves any favours as we didn't turn up really for the game, and of course the little kind of mishap of being knocked out of the Carabao Cup at the hands of Leicester City in the penalty shootout. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If we just could have extra time in that game, I think we would have went on and won that game. But it wasn't meant to be. It did start on a run of events then that brought us going into December. A new change in manager, obviously two changes in manager, we want to call it. Duncan Ferguson obviously getting the caretaker role for a couple of games, and obviously then our new manager Carlo coming in. And I think with the points that we have taken from those games, I think before Duncan got the reins and brought in the first game against Chelsea, I think if you were to say to get all those points, most of us would have said, yeah, we would have taken that. It's also seen a bit of stability coming back into play, especially in the case of especially our midfield, because we've been decimated, in that area with injuries to key players. We've also had a bit of a letdown. Obviously, likes of Gylfi Sigurdsson has gone from worse to worse. We didn't think he could get any worse, but unfortunately he has. It's one of those players that I think possibly in this transfer window, which is now open by the way. The other day, 9 hours into the transfer window, and we still hadn't signed anybody. What's up with that? Anyway, on a more serious note, it's one of these. I think that if a realistic offer came in for Gylfi Sigurdsson, could he be sold? Surely, Mashiri, Kenwright, Ferguson, Carlo, they're obviously hearing our screams and shouts when he's on the field, because he's not offering us any more. Nothing. Like I was one of the ones that was hugely happy when we signed him, because we've seen what he can do with set plays and free kicks. Now I don't know where it is. I think he's only 28, 20. So he's not he's not getting old. He seems to be around since the Ice Age. No pun intended for the Icelandic, but he just didn't seem to have the legs anymore to do it. Luca Dean has seems to have taken over the free kick role since he come in, and we all know he can belt in a ball or two. But I think if the money was right, I think they let him go, and probably right to let him go. As I mentioned in the match reaction from the City game, I think Delph is pretty much I think is sick of him and the other players, because he did everything he could to get the ball playing forward, and whether it was Gylfi, whether it was Walcott, any player that he gave the ball to, he just seemed to pass backwards, and it just ended up in Pickford's box, and then he just lay a ball forward. And unfortunately, as I mentioned also in the match reaction, Cavaloon was double timed on. He could very rarely get off the air. I think only once or twice he did get through, and in one instance, his first touch let him down a brawl away from goal, where if he just got it down right, he could have hit it first time. You just never know. So yes, I think we'll all agree getting into the table. I think at this point in time, because obviously Arsenal winning the other day, we are now 11th in the table, which is a lot better to compare to what we started off December at. And obviously with those games that came up, we were going, where the hell are you going to be come the 1st of January? So it's definitely a huge improvement. Next up, of course, is a very, very long trip, I believe, just across Stanley Park to Anfield. It's the home of a little unknown club in Liverpool called Liverpool, believe it or not, and that's in the third round of the FA Cup. Unfortunately, on a serious note, it didn't actually, when the draw came out, it didn't give us the best of luck, I suppose. Not only drawing them in the FA Cup, but taking them away from home. We all know how difficult it's been for Everton the last so many years to get any sort of a result there. In saying that, before the City game, would we have had some confidence going into that game? I think we could have. A lot of the social media outlets are kind of saying, okay, since Liverpool have put themselves basically out of the League Cup, because obviously they want to concentrate on the so important but wasn't so important when Manchester United won it, World Club Championship. They've obviously now won that. They've now come back, and obviously with them, unfortunately, running away in the league, and they're still in the Champions League. If I was if I was Jurgen Klopp, and you're pretty much on call to get that first league title in so many years, and also a chance to get back and win the Champions League again. Where did you see the FA Cup sitting in that range of what's more important? Now, I don't care what any club says. The FA Cup has been and always will be one of the most important trophies to win in domestic football. Up to a couple of years ago, I think until the Champions League really came on the scene, it was still the most watched club cup around the world. I remember when we were in it in '95, the amount of the millions that are watching in Nigeria of all places, and that's just because Amakachi was playing for us. So it has got the big, you know, the clubs are interested in winning it, and don't dare any other club tell you otherwise. So if a miracle was to happen and say we beat Liverpool, they'll go, didn't really want it. Well, it's a complete lie. But in saying that, social media outlets are kind of saying, okay, how strong kind of a side will they put out against Everton on Sunday because of the Champions League and because of obviously the running away with the league. Now don't forget, not too long ago we were playing a so-called not so full strength Liverpool side, and they still walloped us 5-2. But obviously that was before the changes. Will they take us a bit more seriously? Will they put the big names onto the team, or will they put them on the bench? Liverpool have been playing so well, and let's be fair. All teams have had a rough patch in regards to the December games. These Christmas fixtures really do pile up pressure and strain on teams. So as I said, it'd be very, very interesting to see what Klopp does in regards to the lineup. If he's an honest enough man, I think he knows that it's the Liverpool fans will want to win the FA Cup. Every club wants to win the FA Cup. But if he has any inkling whatsoever that the squad don't want to win it, or they're afraid their players are going to get injured, you just never know. I think when it comes to the game itself, I would take a 0-0 at this stage and take it back to Goodison and hopefully do the job then. It's a really difficult one to call because of the way they're playing and of course the way we're playing, and it's just unfortunate we got the City game at that time after being on that run of games, beating Chelsea, beating Burnley, beating the Barcodes. That poor game, unfortunately, that was with Arsenal. But I think I said it before, that Arsenal game was one of those that both new managers on the touchline, coming into the club, they were just cancelling each other out and didn't want to lose a game in front of their new managers. That was the way I felt it was anyway. So Arteta was in the stand. Arsenal didn't want it. Carlo was in the stand. We didn't want to to lose the game. So it just kind of seemed it was like pinball football with just no goals at the end of it. It was just going backwards and forwards and nothing key about it. But again, it is Arsenal and a so-called top six side that we did pull a point away from. After that, it's just such a pity that we had to get City at that time. It's a pity we didn't kill Liverpool first and then the City game. But let's hope definitely that we get a better performance than we did against City. Watching the game, I felt that Delph was the only one that really put on a show. Pickford, could he have done something about the first goal? He did get a fingertip on it, I suppose. Holgate, maybe he could have done a bit more as well. He's been able to adjust himself, but as other commentary guys have said on the different medias, Jesus just seems to love playing against us like Ferguson did when he was scoring against Manchester United all those years ago. So there's always that one player that does so well against us, and obviously let's hope Divock Origi is not playing because he's obviously scoring against us a few times now in derbies. On a prediction wise, it's a very, very hard one to call, guys, because we just don't seem to do well at Anfield, with the exception of that the game where Jagielka equalised. We have after conceding the goal to get back right into the end of the game. What can we do really? I just don't see us. hopefully I don't see us playing with the same poor attitude that we did against Manchester City. Surely we can't be that bad. It'd be interesting to see if we get any players back. Um, Back from injury. One player I just don't think will be missed will be Gylfi Sigurdsson. Tom Davies, of course, who came in at a very, very late replacement because Bernard was injured. Let's hope actually Bernard is back for the game on Sunday. But he didn't have a great game either. He has these flashes where, when he first came into the side, we seen this flash of brilliance, especially when he actually scored a goal against City. We were all hoping that it was, he's going to get more game time and his progression was going to kind of grow. But now under the different managers that we've had, his progression is kind of, has gone from such a high level and it's dropped to a certain level and it's just stayed there and hasn't moved on very, very far since then. Is it something to do with the managers, tell him not to play a certain way? Because he used to have these bursts of speed to get forward and, to try and turn players. Now he seems to lose the ball an awful lot more. But whether you want him in the side or Gylfi Sigurdsson, it's a very hard one to call. Just with Luca Dean in the side, is there a place for Sigurdsson because of the free kicks ability? Obviously Leighton Baines is there as well. Some people are calling for Luca Dean to play on the left hand side in front of Leighton Baines, just like we've seen Sidibe playing in front of Seamus Coleman. Now, some of these social media, where they're giving their player ratings, they gave Sidibe a very, very, I think it was a 4 he got, and actually one of his very, very poor performances in an Everton shirt since he joined on loan. Now that thing's because I think he's more attacking minded definitely than he is defensive minded, so he kind of, once he's going forward, he seems to do everything, and his assists have spoken for itself since he's joined. So maybe that's something that he can look at. In regards to, if it doesn't work out, we can switch it. Then you could obviously you could pull Coleman off, switch Sidibe back to right back, and then bring on Walcott. Walcott had a decent enough game when he came on against. He was all right. Like he got the assist, getting he kind of a half shot coming across the goal, and Richarlison came in and put the ball in the back of the net. So it's there's pluses and I suppose positives and negatives to it. Not too sure, guys, if you know what channel it's on Sunday, but hopefully we'll all have a packed house there on Sunday and hopefully celebrating a victory. Never mind that it's been an Anfield, but just a victory over Liverpool. My family members, my brother and the 4 nephews, they're all Liverpool, and I've just got nothing but Liverpool, 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 and it'd be just nice. It was just for that 1 or 2 days, just to send back the toffees are back into their faces. I imagine we'll have some blues over from Liverpool for the game, and we had a couple of people in from America, I believe, in the City game, and people from France of all people. So I hope you all enjoyed their time, even though it was a loss in the Man City game. Once we get this video out anyway, and I'll have a bit of a search around, and we'll come back with a proper match preview tomorrow for the Merseyside derby in the FA Cup. Until then, this has been the Friday Supplement. Have a good day, guys, and we shall, if I don't talk to you personally, I will see you all on Sunday.